let's talk about the way too early season preview of the Charlotte Hornets. Now, guys, I know it's up in 2 players are up on questions. Montrezl Harrell and my man, not my man. God, fuck no. Not my man. Not at all. I don't condone. I actually abhor DV. We're going to refer to it as DV. And I'm not talking about DVP. I'm talking about hitting a woman. That's not right. And again, I haven't talked much about the Miles Bridges because I don't know much about the situation. This isn't even a Miles Bridges video. We're going to act like Miles Bridges isn't right now on the team, nor is Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl Harrell I feel bad for, okay? I really want to, because it's just weed, man. That's just, you probably got a good deal on 3 pounds, okay? And a pound a month, that's not much at all. That's not that much weed. That's really, like, in theory, yes, that's a lot of weed, but it's really not. Like, dude, I know people, I've seen like 60 pounds in front of me before, okay? I've probably seen over 100 pounds of weed in front of me. They said 3 pounds is nothing. That's light work. I'm just kidding. But, they brought back Cody Martin. Bryce McGowan's got a 2-way. Mark Williams got a multi-year deal. And hopefully, the legal situations for the 2 free agents clear up. I like Montrez. I think he's a good player. 6th man of the year guy. And then Scotty Lewis, Cody Martin, Isaiah Thomas, and Arnaldus were all free agents. Like I said, they brought back Cody. And supposedly either Kemba Walker or Isaiah Thomas is going to come back. So they also brought in Steve Clifford as their coach. Oh. And it's going to be interesting. Hopefully LaMelo can continue developing. And right now the roster is LaMelo Ball, James Bouknight, Gordon Hayward, Kai Jones, Cody Martin, Jalen McDaniels, Bryce McGowens, Kelly Oubre, Mason Plumlee, Nick Richards. Nick Richards looked good. Terry Rozier, JT Thor, and PJ Washington and Mark Williams. Now the starting lineup, we expect LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, either Gordon Hayward or Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Mason Plumlee. And I honestly see maybe Mason starting the year, but they'll probably try Nick Richards and Mark Williams. By the end of the year, Mason Plumlee will probably be the 3rd center off the bench. And I think PJ Washington will start with Jalen McDaniels backing him up and JT Thor and Kai Jones bouncing between power forward and center. Hopefully those guys can get into some minutes. Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre will lock down the wing position with Terry Rozier, Cody Martin, James Bouknight. Cody Martin will play also some wing position, but he'll also bounce between the shooting guard and wing position. James Bouknight can do the same, but I think he'll be more of the backup shooting guard. And they don't have a backup point guard. They have one more roster space, like I previously mentioned. Isaiah and Kemba Walker are the 2 rumored guys that they're interested in. And look, I don't even know, because we're also assuming that they're moving on from Miles Bridges, like what it looks like the entire NBA. I mean, we'll find out in a few weeks. He has his proceedings, I believe, is what's coming up. And it's definitely interesting. And I think it's definitely my girlfriend's coming to smoke some weed, so I just texted her back. Text me when she's here. Look, I like the Hornets. And I think one of the interesting parts about this team is due to the fact that, look, the whole situation's murky. Because after, a few serious situations with Miles Bridges and Montrezl Harrell, they, traded their pick for a 2025 for first rounder. And they were able to, get Mark Williams. And basically they traded a lottery pick for a pick that we assume that the Bucks are still going to be good in like 3 years or 2 years. And they brought back Cody Martin on a totally good, deal, I personally thought. And look, I think it's definitely going to be interesting, as LaMelo Ball needs to take another leap, and the Sporting Cast needs to be, have chemistry to complement LaMelo Ball. And obviously the biggest thing is defense. This team couldn't play defense, and obviously the return of Steve Clifford will do that. And we've talked about hopefully that the Hornets aren't stagnant. And when you look at this roster, what's the best defense? Okay, Terry Rozier, yes, he's a good defender for his size, but we're not going to sit here and act like he's the greatest defender in the world. No, I like Terry Rozier, and I think he's a good defender. But again, he has his limitations. In the modern NBA, you want a long defensive roster. So for us, it would definitely look like, oh my God, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson are done, my girlfriend. Not like it's important, but my girlfriend just texted me that, so not that I care. Fuck them. So I think their best defensive lineup could potentially be LaMelo, Cody Martin, Kelly Oubre. PJ Washington improved defensively, so either Jalen McDaniels and PJ Washington as the front court, or PJ Washington and Nick Richards or Mark Williams. I think that could definitely work out really well for them. And again, this is a team that's in an interesting spot because of what's going on with their players, but hopefully they can figure it out. I think it's weird, and this is a team that I think if they get the defense good, oh my God, they're a team that get over the hump. I know we all are upset with how stagnant they've been, but this team haven't made a playoff since 2016, back in Steve Clifford's first tenure, and that was when Kemba was there. And people forget that the past 2 seasons they were blown out in both games of the play-in tournament. In 2021 they played the Pacers, lost 114 to 117. Following year, 132 to 103, and they basically failed to show up. And I don't know if it was a lack of motivation or whatever, but as we said, Miles Bridges' situation being in limbo, they need somebody in PJ Washington, James Bouknight, Terry Rozier, JT Thor, Kai Jones, or even Gordon Hayward to step up and fill those shoes of Miles Bridges. And I think James Bouknight, I know he split time between the G League and only in the NBA, with only appearing in 31 games, averaged like 5 points a game, but he did show flashes of being able to be a shot creator and moves off ball very well. And now, look, they do have a crowded, the guard position is very crowded, but I think this will be something to keep an eye out. James Bouknight will be good for them. Now, since 2019, they increased 10 wins each year. 23 wins in 2019 to 2020. 2020 to 2021, 33 wins. And this past season, 43 wins. So there's optimism that they're heading in the right direction, which is surprising why they fired our boy, James Borrego. It's not surprising. It's defense. But, a coach who's improved every year, you normally don't fire. But, hey, I am a guy just talking in his room. But that's basically it, guys. Go check out my NFL channel. We're posting a Buffalo Bills video today. And that's basically it for me. I hope you guys do have a good one.